Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. Now today we're going to have a look at the Dracula. Yes, I wanted to play the game the other day and I wanted just to have a little bit of fun, and that is where the Dracula comes into it. Now when the Drac was first introduced to the game, it was kind of OP. There was nothing like this in the game. Wargaming very rarely sell the tank. It only comes a couple of times a year. Obviously you can get it in crates, or it normally comes for the Halloween. It's not the best of tanks according to stats, but it still, in my opinion, is one of the most fun tanks in the game to play, and it's always been that. And it's definitely the most fun platoon tanks. If you run two Draculas, then you will have a lot of fun, and you will also win a lot of games as well. So the DPM is not great at 2,138. Not the best. I mean, it's not the worst, but it's not the best of medium tanks. And the reload time is 6.3 seconds. Penetration 155 on your AP, 237 on your APCR, so not the best penetrations either. You will struggle to get through tier 8 heavies. The average damage, you're doing 225 on your AP, 190 on your APCR, and 270 on your HE. Aim time and the dispersion is both are not great for a medium tank at 3.4 and 0.353. It does, however, have 10 degrees of gun depression, but what this tank is all about is the speed. 20 in reverse and 65 going forward. So as I've said, the tank is still one of the most fun tanks to play in the game. It's not the best of tanks. It isn't the best of tanks by a long shot, but it's the most fun. It is so much fun. And also it has that mechanism where it has the auto track repair. So if you get shot in the tracks, no need to use your repair kit. In 1 second it will automatically put your tracks back on. So many people forget about this. They get tracked and they use a repair kit. Just wait a second and it will automatically be repaired. So yeah, when this tank first came to the game, it was a bit controversial how OP the tank was and just how insane this tank is. And it still is. In the right hand, it still is absolutely fantastic, but it has to be in the right hands, in the right situation. You can see the SU-101 there. We're unable to pen that with AP. You can see, look at that. That's not got the best of armors, but but we can't pen it with the AP. We can't pen it, and that is a tier 8 tank destroyer. Imagine coming up against a really heavy tank in tier 8. You're gonna not be able to penetrate it. But I don't mind the penetration because your mobility is so good. You can just get around the tanks. And if you're in a platoon, honestly, if you've never double platooned a Dracula, go do it. You have to do it because it is so much fun. It really is fun. You can bully tanks. Yes, you're tier 7. Yes, this guy here is a tier 8 and we're going to struggle to pen his turret frontally. No point, no worry, because we have mobility over this guy, and our mobility is just insane. You can get around them very, very easily. And when you're in a heavy tank or a TD, there really isn't too much you can do when there is a Dracula circling you. Even more if there is two Draculas circling you. Now I know there is a guy coming down. I don't care about that guy right now. All I care about is this Emil, clearing the Emil, because we are losing on tanks and I need to clear these targets. And then once I've cleared him, now we can move out the way from this this Super Persian here. So you can see we're even unable to pen that Super Persian frontally in the bottom plate. But no point, no worry. We're just going to get behind him with our guy, the T-32, in front. And of course, the T-32 deals with him with the Charioteer. And it's now a 4 versus 4. But we have 3 supremacy bases. So we should win this. Even though it's a 3 versus 4, as long as I don't just rush out, we should win this. We just need to be a little bit patient, and then it should be easy. And just after the SU-130 PM has shot, we're now going to rush him with this Chi-2 here. And we're going to get the kill, and that's pretty much all we're going to do. I don't care at this point. Yes, it's a 3 versus 3. I don't care. A win's a win. I still did 2.5k damage, 2.6k damage. We could have got a little bit more, but a win is a win. So you can bully tanks. It really is a bully, and that is what you can do with this tank. Now, of course, the Helsing as well that came with the tank, both of these tanks were considered overpowered, but this now isn't the case. Wargaming then brought in the Amex CDC, which is pretty much a tier 8 version of the Dracula. And when they first introduced it, everyone was like, wow, a tier 8 Dracula. But then there was no point playing the CDC because the Dracula was better in pretty much every single way, even being a tier below. That's not so much the case now. Of course, you get things like power creep and stuff like that, and I think that's kind of what's happened with the Dracula. You don't really see it as often as you used to. I mean, this guy here, the J Panther 2, we can't pen it frontally with AP, and that hasn't got much armor, so you do struggle with your penetration, you do struggle with your aim time and your accuracy, but this tank is not to be played like that. This tank is literally like a YOLO machine. You YOLO forward and you just bully tanks. And those of you that have watched sort of earlier videos of mine or earlier streams of mine, we used to do a challenge. I used to do a challenge with a friend, especially in a stream or something like that, where we would both take 2 Draculas, or we would take a Dracula each. One would go left, one would go right, and we'd have a race. We'd have a race. You have to go all the way around the map, and you have to try to get back into your spawn without dying. Now, yes, you're pretty much YOLOing, but honestly, that was so much fun. And again, if you're driving 2 Draculas, you and a friend, you can just completely bully tanks. It doesn't even matter that you don't have the penetration, the aim time, the accuracy. You have that mobility to get around. You have that auto track repair that is just 1 second. Honestly, it's still, even though there is such thing as power creep, especially with this tank and especially with the Helsing. I mean, right now, the Helsing is still a good tank. Just because a tank used to be good, especially a premium tank that doesn't get touched, it hasn't been nerfed, but how can a premium tank like the Helsing just be at one second overpowered, and then the next minute no one plays it because it's just not as good as it used to be? Well, it is as good as it used to be, but there are just better tanks around it. And with the Helsing, you have the Annihilator. Now, there's no reason to play the Helsing if you have the Annihilator, but we're going to talk about the Helsing in a separate video. So now I'm pretty much up here all alone. I mean, I can't even pen the rear, the bottom plate of a 047. So we're up here on our own. I didn't really want to run away because a couple of these are very, very low hit points, and I'd rather die but take these guys out than just run and leave them alive. So yes, I have taken a bit of damage, but I did manage to take the lightweight, which is the only light tank left, the only light tank on the enemy team. So at least we get rid of the spotting tank, as you might want to call it. So I'm then using my mobility to run away. Now, I am taking the 50 TP out of the game at the minute. I just don't want to be shot. But now we have taken care of the Gravedigger, and it's a 5 versus 3. I know the J Panther is there. I know that there is the 047 up here, which is pretty much a one-shot, and now I can just run away from the 50 TP. But we do get very, very lucky there with a bounce on our side. But you can see, I don't know where the 047 is right now. I'm not looking at finding him. I'm looking at getting the hell away from the 53 TP and going to help my team with this J Panther, and we do manage to get a nice shot there. So the J Panther is now a one shot. We are going to be able to take him out, or the defender, AMX defender, will be able to take him out, and now we have a free shot here on the 047, the 047, whatever you want to call it, because I think he's gone AFK, which works out perfect for us. So even though we was up there on our own, we're still alive. We are still alive, and we're still doing damage. We've got 2 kills, and we're up to now 2.1k damage, and it's just a 5 against 1. So at this point, I don't even really care about dying. Now, I know that that guy just shots, which is why I'm playing a little bit more aggressive, so I know he's on a reload. Unfortunately, I do bounce on his tracks, and now I just have to be patient, wait for his gun to turn around, and then I can poke out and get a bit more damage into him. And now, again, I have seen him shoot. I'm just going to go forward, knowing that I could die under this train. Again, unfortunately, I missed, but now he's not looking, so I am able to get another final shot into him. So he has reloaded, and he is going to be able to get me from under the train. But at this point, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a 4 versus 1 who is a one shot, and we do manage to get the kill and the win. So yeah, overall, I wish Wargaming would now sell this tank more often, because it is a fun tank to play. Nowadays, it isn't OP because there's better tanks around. There's better tanks over the CDC that Wargaming have introduced, whether that's heavy tanks that you struggle to deal with, or whether that's other medium tanks that is just so much better than the the Dracula now, sorry. But overall, I do wish they would sell the tank a little bit more, because in my opinion, it is still the most fun tank to play in the game. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye-bye. With